and we went through the knee, cause it's the same as the hip, and we're gonna do the foot. So I wanna maximize the range of motion, for dorsiflexion. Does the knee have to be bent or straight? Bent.
Bent, yeah.
Has to be bent, and why is that? Yep. It's a gastroc. So you throw a pillow underneath here, okay, so that she's got the knee slightly flexed, or it's just on slack. I always tell this story because it's like, I got dinged for this in a practical, it was a pediatric one.
She's still bitter about it too.
Yeah, well, I sit here and think, you know what, she's like, okay, I had this foot that's like this big, and I thought, I'm gonna plantar flex, and I'm gonna dorsiflex. And she's like, you're not doing that correctly. And I said, I know, but the foot's like literally, you know, I felt like I was working on a grasshopper. I mean, it's like, it wasn't that big. And she says, how'd you learn to do that in school? And I think, well, I know how I learned to do it in school, but this foot's like, literally like 2 inches. So you do this on pediatrics and all over. Do not do this, okay? You've got that arch in there. So you want to go ahead and you want to cup the heel for dorsiflexion. You're going to put this along the...
You don't
like
ticklish, I guess.
Oh,
I hear
as I'm
tickling.
sitting
It's
here
like
touching
Bobin's
foot. So this is going to be like basically provide a flat edge. You're cupping the heel, and you're just going to lean back into it. Okay.
So with the small feet, you just
So
same thing.
You cup a little baby foot like this with the heel. You put their little foot
You
on
do
your
the same thing.
forearm, and you do the same
I see
thing.
on your wrist.
Yeah, you're like, okay, this like foot goes up like.
You're just right in the crevice of the...
Same thing.
Aw.
So if you hit that, okay, but that is dorsiflexion. Plantar flexion, like, you know how we did it like this? Plantar flexion is the same. So all you're going to do is put pressure on the top. You can cup the heel and put pressure down. When you do inversion and eversion, you're going to go back to your dorsiflexion kind of range of motion. And all you're going to do is kind of swing in and swing out and swing in and swing out. I can also do, this is like calcanean or calcaneus. Calcaneus.
That's a good one though. We should use that.
I was calcaneus, inversion, eversion. I can also do subtalar here by controlling it like this. Okay, so that's dorsiflexion, calcaneal inversion, eversion, subtalar inversion, eversion, and plantar flexion.
Could you show calcaneus and subtalar and talar again?
Make sure when you're doing the plantar flexion that you're grabbing at the metatarsals and not at the phalanges.
Yeah, okay. So I was gonna say calcaneal inversion, eversion. Is that the one you're wanting? So all I'm doing, you remember when you have them in prone with the goni and you're looking to see how far the heel swings? That's what this is, except I have them in this position here, and all I'm doing is cupping and tilting. Okay? I don't get as much range of motion as when I move up here through subtalar.
If you're doing this on somebody, would you traditionally do both? Would they normally need both, or is there one or the other that you use more often?
You mean as far, I may do both. I'd see where I felt the greatest restriction, and if I felt like, and so I might do it based on the restriction. I might do it because maybe their foot's been in a boot forever, and they're just stiff all over, and I need to do it all over, okay? So if I felt like there was the greatest restriction, I might do both, okay? Then, here, I was gonna say, just like the lumbricals for the hands, I'm doing the same thing here. And for toe flexion extension, I'm doing the same. Note too, because I have not done the best job, I'm stabilizing this more proximal segment, so I don't get ankle flexion and dorsiflexion when I do that, so I kind of stabilize here to make sure that I don't move that. people that are very limited with their motion, their body will find all kinds of ways to cheat, and it'll actually look like, oh, that's better, and you're like, no, because once I stabilize that, it's like, oh, that's stiff. Okay, so flexion and extension. I can too go ahead and do abduction, okay, of the toes. I could do it singular too, and I think I talked about that on hands too, but normally just because of time, I usually do it as a group. Okay, all right, so we've got the toes, we've got the midfoot, we've got subtalar, the calcaneus, plantar flexion, and or dorsiflexion, plantar flexion. Okay, and then I'm going to show you extension. I'm going to roll and you face them. Actually, they might be able to. So when I do hip extension, does it matter what the knee is doing?
Yes.
Do I want it to be bent or straight?
No, straight.
Why is that?
Straight. 'Cause you wanna see.
What limits it if it's bent?
Wouldn't it be the quad?
The quad. And then I don't have as much range of motion. And there's a variety of ways. I like to get in here and hold it like this. It's up against me once again. I can support here, I can support the distal femur, and I'm also supporting the lower leg. I'm going to stabilize the hip because I don't want, just like I did the shoulder, I don't want her rotating back. She might, her hip extension, we'll see what it is because I'm close to the wall. Yeah, and I was going to say, she might. So I'm stabilizing here, and I'm trying to bring her back into that range of motion here. And I want that knee, because I want to get maximum movement out of the joint. I want that to be straight versus bending it. Okay, all right. So you've got basically foot and ankle, and then hip extension. Okay, so I will let you do those.